Hi everyone, Alistair Davies here. Today's lesson is all about the chip shot, the simplest method to play a chip shot successfully. We're going to talk about how you can change it for different length shots, but really the basic simple technique to be successful at chipping, to lower your scores, to get up and down more often, and discover the keys to make you play better. Keep watching to learn how. So we find ourselves just off the green. This is a short game area, Edgbaston Golf Course here, so many thanks to them. But I'm going to play initially to the shortest hole here. And I've got a putter in my hand for two reasons. One is you could actually putt this no problem at all and it would be successful. If the grass is good enough, I would probably recommend that for most people. But I've also got it to help you get in the correct setup to hit a chip shot. So I've got a 54-degree wedge here, which is the shot I'm going to use for this hole, and I'll explain to you in a minute why I'm choosing that club. But let's first of all get stuck into the basics. If I took my stance to a putter, this is kind of how close I'd stand to the golf ball, how my arms would sit in terms of lie angle of the arms if you want. So this would be flat, this would be more upright. So quite an upright angle or hang to the arms. I'm stood quite close to the ball, and that's key really for a successful chip and run shot. So if I just move my putter over there to my golf bag, and I take my 54-degree wedge in here now and try and stand basically exactly the same. I'm going to move a couple of centimeters further back. So I'm going to set up with the heel in the air. This really just helps me arch my wrists to eliminate my wrists in the shot. If my hands are around here, I'm going to get much more radial deviation. When my wrists are much more arched, much more in this ulnar fashion, it tends to make it a little bit more stiffer and a bit more forearm controlled. I also want the grip to be in my palm of my hands. For putting and chip and runs is the only time I'd want this to happen. The stance itself, the ball position for me, I'd want it in the center. I want 60 to 70% of the weight on the lead foot. So depending on how the lie is and so on, I would go sort of 60% for most of the shots around here. And then from there, I'm just going to try and feel it's a straight back, straight through. Now, it is going to be an arc, but it's going to feel to you straight back, straight through. There's always an arc, and this was stood on top of the ball. I'm stood close to the ball here, so the arc is less. The club's just going to rotate naturally on that arc, just like it would do on a putt. And all I'm going to try and do there is just give it a very stiff shot to land, ideally just on the green. You see that's just short of the hole, and it landed just short of the edge of the green. But I'm hugely happy with that. That's a really successful shot. It almost went in, it's just a tad short. Now, if I was going to go to the next hole along, I could hit it harder with the same club. Or I could change my club. And let's go for a pitching wedge this time. This is quick green, so let's try a pitching wedge for the first go. I'm standing exactly the same. I'm going to play exactly the same shot. I'll try and land it just on the green. Caught that one a tad heavy. That one's pretty happy with. So that one's finished about 1.5 foot short. So potentially I could use a 9-iron or I could hit that a little bit harder. But that was almost spot on for me. Now if I was going for a hole further on, it'd be a 9-iron and an 8-iron and a 7-iron and so on. As a rule of thumb, if I'm landing the ball halfway between me and the hole, normally a 9-iron or a wedge is pretty good. If I'm landing the ball 3/4 way to the hole, a sand iron is pretty good. Now, the first hole here, I used a 54, and I'm probably landing it about 1/3 of the way to the hole. Now, the reason I've adapted that is because it's downhill. It's downhill, and it's a short overall distance, so I'd rather be a little bit more positive with the action, negative the action. So sometimes a gut feeling like that would override. So if it's downhill, we'd always change those ratios up a club, okay? So if I'm landing it halfway, which would normally be kind of a 9-iron, and it's downhill, that's definitely going to be a wedge or a sand wedge, depending on how quick the greens are and so on. And if you're going to a course with quicker greens to you and you're used to doing it with a certain club, you can just adjust the club rather than trying to recalibrate where you're going to land it and the strength you're going to hit it at. It's a real simple technique. It's super stiff, it's kind of thumbs pointing down, wrist locked really, rocking the shoulders like you would a putt, a narrow stance like you would a short putt, for example, maybe even narrower than the putt because I do want stability in the putting. It's kind of just outside the club head width apart. Your weight is preloaded on the front foot. We're trying to keep the weight there and we're rocking the shoulders. That gets us an ever slight descending blow with our arched wrists, which means we have stability in the club face and the forearms as we hit the ball. So it's a really, really simple shot. I hope you've enjoyed that simple look at the chip shot and hope it helps you lower your scores. If it does, please let me know down below. Also chat below, post any questions, comments or feedback. I welcome all those. Also, if you have enjoyed the video, please click like and share it. If you're new to the channel and you fancy improving your golf and coming on my journey, or me joining you on your journey is more important, then please hit my logo down below and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today here at Edgbaston Golf Club, and I'll see you again here very soon.